that shows the degree of traverse of the in the middle is working space to load.
Welcome to the Tank Museum. Join the Friends of the Tank Museum and enjoy some great benefits while supporting your favourite charity. Visit our website to find out more.
Play on PC.
So let's dive into a phone box and check. Really pleased, it's lovely to see so many people here.
I guess the biggest question is going to be if it's...
Was it large mock or large plot over there?
This bizarre-looking vehicle is one of my favourite tanks, and it's also one of the strangest tanks, not just in our collection, but in the world as well. This is the Praying Man.
Welcome to the Tank Museum. Whilst you're enjoying the show, don't miss the opportunity to go inside and explore the Tank Museum, home of the world's finest collection of tanks. We hope you enjoy your visit.
In the ranges, it's a little bit, so it's about just under a kilometre. So they go
I'm just thinking of what a nice environment to do for the drive. As long as I don't point it too low, they can't point it too low. Ik zie al dat ik de assassin en daar recht achter volle kanon.
Right now.
Just lit the gaps possible.
That's where you get in there. That'll be the joy. How much is smoke?
The size of a barn. It's a beauty, Bob. It's an experimental thing.
Yeah, I thought you thought it was
Stage 1 already, or to stage 2.
replica. One is actually the real thing. If you look over to my left, you'll see now it's going to start getting casualties from people are coming under fire. The tank is moving forward. The tank is moving backwards. Those tanks, throwing one of those was not a simple thing. It was horrible. Inside that thing, the temperature will be about 50 degrees centigrade, and it's full of carbon dioxide fumes, carbon smoke. It's a horrible way to go to war. But some very, very brave men did. It's now pushing forward. As I said, when you see that tank rolling forward, that's exactly the way they move. The tracks wrap all the way round. The thing on the back, that's wooden. It's a bit like railway sleeve. That's what an unditching beam. The idea is this tank gets into deep mud. You attach that to chains. The tank backs, pull it over at the top, and it leaves itself out. That's 6 pound of gun firing. That's a common shell. Going to rough up the enemy. It's moving forward. Tank is leveling fire onto the enemy battalions. The infantry have taken cover. The enemy infantry, they can't face up to that thing. Understandably, they are starting their retreat. They're moving back. British NCOs pushing our infantry forward. Coming forward, firing as they go, lengthening the bayonet. Now those infantries, quite heavily laden, carrying about 30 kilos of weight, so they're moving fairly slowly forward. The enemy have withdrawn. The infantry keeping in cover of the tank, keeping the tank between them and the enemy fire. Practicing fire and movement, going forward gradually. They've reached the first enemy position. Now coming around from the left-hand side, they've reached my left-hand side. We've got the second bit. Now this is crew at the front, engine is the rear. Think about just about every tank you know. That's the pattern the Renault F-15 sets. They were built in quite large numbers, around about 3,000 of these, and they were in service for an awful long time. Renault F-15s, First World War tanks, were still in service in World War II. In fact, some of them were picked up by the German army, repurposed as Powerdirector. Captured. Renault's coming forward. You can see a driver in the front. Renault's going past me. You look back at Renault, there's a tail skid that helps it to cross trenches and shoulders. Another 6-pounder round going in. I don't think the enemy are going to be able to take much more of this. When tanks first appeared, they caused absolute chaos doing this here on our arena today. By the way, if you look at the side of the Renault, you think that's suspension. It's not. None of these things have suspension. That makes it just track protection, so it really isn't a very comfortable ride. The crew do tell me that she's very reliable and also really quite easy to drive, which makes a major difference. The British Mark IV actually took 4 guys to drive and steer them. First War as horses, guys on foot, things like that. In fact, the British Army was very heavily mechanised, particularly when it came to the logistics side of things. This is absolutely vitally important. Everybody thinks about the front line, but the tail Liberty truck, as I said, it was trialled, adopted, and in the space of about 18 months, at least 2 years. US companies actually used 14,000 of these trucks used by US Army. Mark man really loved.
is then the tank we make the most of. A quarter of our tank production in World War II is Valentine tanks. 8,000 Valentines are made in different models, and we use them as well. In the very first instance, we use Valentines out in North Africa. It's supposed to be another infantry tank, like our Matilda 1, Matilda 2, thick armour. We end up in many different roles before the end of the war, including for the first time floating tanks. We end up using them for training on. They're not used on D-Day. We use a shirt, which is more effective that way. Now, if you can pick them out as they go round, if I say it's another green tank, you're not going to know, are you? But one of the tanks now, then, following the Valentine, is a Churchill. And again, it's another infantry tank. It's a tank to support the infantry in it. And this is going to be our third model infantry tank. Because the guys in France, they kept this specification after 1940, which is going to look a bit like the First World War tank. First design. We made the first two models. This is the Mark III model. A genuinely rarity here. Only 600 of these are made. It's got very thick armour. There it is with the 13 on the side of the turret. It starts off with a 2-pounder gun. It ends up with a howitzer in the hull as well. We get rid of this on the Mark III. We put a 6-pounder gun on, and then a bore-down 6-pounder that's 40-75mm. That was a tank that was nearly cancelled because it didn't quite work, first of all. The manual, many of you might know this, when they first gave the manual out to the troops, the first thing the tanks it said on page 1, don't worry, we know this is problems, we think we better have it now just in case. We get it better, and the Churchill's seen some amazing service in World War II. We use it for engineer variants, famous Royal Engineers. It sees amazing service as a bridge layer, flame-throwing crocodile, and the
To the chappy here, the big difference between the two is that the Stuart and the absolutely perfect for recce, for reconnaissance, but not really as a gun tank. What they wanted to do is the most characteristic thing about the M1 is that cast hull. This one was made by the Neva Locomotive Organisation used to dealing with heavy metal. They could cast the hull, spread it to the block. But maintain that throughout the whole production. Now, some of you, I'm sure, are looking at this today. How incremental changes were made throughout the development of the Sherman. It was never as simple as the A1 became coordinated. There are no plugs in there, it's a diesel. Right, so that's a little sort of for instance, the A1 here has an basic ammo storage system. By the time you get to the A3, particularly the A3-8, which is what Fury represents, but actually isn't, you end up with the sort of wet storage, bucket food, relatively reliable, relatively quick across country, 20 miles an hour across country, much more on the road, easy to maintain, and the most important thing,
a maverick designer who's come up with a very fast tank. The Soviets they buy the rights to build these types of tanks, BT fast tanks built on the Christie system, and they've got a Vickers model they build on in the 1930s. Now Russia decides, or the Soviet Union as it was then, decides it's going to use building tanks.
those in the museum. They are more, it's a bit more training tanks. If you're going to start a tank course, you're going to start establish your Panzerwaffe, you're going to need crews. Those do that job. But they're starting to think, come around about 1935, they're starting to think of the need for a heavy breakthrough tank. This is a very, very well armed vehicle. If we're going to see an example of what happens when one gets shot at, go and look at the Tiger 2 in the museum. Have a look around the side and you'll see the impact of two 6-pounder 18 rounds at very, very good range.
You're gonna break your arm. Come on, get up and walk.
They got stuck.
And then obviously the ELC 90 6-wheel armor car with 90
Wrong. We've had sort of low to mid 60s out top and down there with the wind behind you type thing. But they are screaming, and on top of that, the carb can't keep up with the valves. So you start to pop a bit and get that sort of coming back on yourself. And I've rejected the carb on that one and absolutely think that the crap out of my shit twice.
So to me, I'm probably about 6-7. You're on the money now.
Ja, Max geht doch oft.
For someone of your age, it's a great investment. I started collecting when I was 15, 16.
He is the worst person to get pictures because you don't even know. You never know where he is. My phone stays in my pocket. And I'm like, he does it all the time, but then he'll send them to you and he's like,
I mean, it's not a matter of
Well, that's all right then, because you're the
I don't enjoy Ajax with all the issues it's got.
It does though, doesn't it?